Hello to my Aries. All right, Aries. This video is for the week of the 12th through the 19th, 2025, September. All right, all of these readings are timeless. So take what resonates with you. Take only what resonates with you. Let's get into the fun reading here. All right, so the first card up is your card. This is the Emperor card, right? So this is your card. It leads the spread. And this week is about stepping into authority, structure, and leadership. So you've been asked to take charge with confidence. Okay? That's right. Structure and authority. What's blocking things here, right? So the challenge is balancing responsibility. May be tricky, right? So I think in your previous reading, I was just talking about how people may be calling you at the last minute asking for money, or asking, for your time. Time is money, and disrupting your peace. And you racing. We look at the Knight of Swords here, and you racing to everybody's, aid, right? So balancing responsibilities may be tricky, but the challenge is managing priorities without stretching yourselves too thin. And that's the main message here. Like for you all, is just like, okay, you're not stretching yourselves too thin anymore. So the past influences is, like I said, you've been saying it, you've been talking about it, right? Night energy connects us with the number 12. So you've been in 1 and 2 is 3. You've been talking about slowing down. And so Source is trying to pull you into a softer life. So, hey, receive it. So recently you've been moving fast, chasing goals with determination, and that drive still fuels your path, though it may need more focus, right? So this is where you're saying, okay, I'm gonna slow down. I'm just gonna slow down. Hey, I'll get to where I need to get to when I get there, right? If somebody is calling you to say, hey, I need you somewhere in a lickety split, I'll get there when I can. I get there when I can, right? Because it looks like you could have been entangled in something like this right here. Something could have put you in the midst of something, right? And so it's just saying, your future influences, this is the Ace of Wands, is like fresh inspiration is on the way. So expect new opportunities, passion, projects, or creative sparks that reignite your fire, right? So somebody is now inspired to kind of really slow down. It's like, you know what? Hey, the world is not going to disappear if you don't get to, racing to, point A to point B. Like, okay. So, if you're not rushing, to take care of something. So it's saying you're learning how to slow down, be patient with yourself, learning how to take some things in, and this looks like it looks like an 8, right? It looks like an infinity symbol, like an 8. Like, who you hooking up with? It's like, okay, who are you hooking up with? Are you hooking up with friends that's getting you to, I feel like, I want to say your last reading, Aries, I was, what came out of your cards was just like, making a list of like how many times you're racing, or like like people making their emergency your urgency, right? I think we talked about it in the previous reading. So again, if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. You can go watch the previous reading for what I'm talking about, like the 11th. I want to say the one that's before this one. You can go watch that video. But somebody is really learning how to just say, listen, I prayed for a slower life. A more relaxed life, and I'm taking advantage of it. I'm taking advantage of this. Is what I prayed for. I'm not letting people just get me off my, my axis. Right. So, yeah. So the Ace of Swords, like I said, you're newly inspired to just kind of sort of relax, right? And so here we have also your conscious goal would be the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, somebody's like, okay, I'm not racing somewhere, and then next thing you know, I'm an ancestor, right? Right, whether you're a man or woman, you're like, I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down, because family is important to somebody. I need to slow down. I need to slow the rolling of these tires on this car, or, motorcycle or whatever. Or somebody could be riding a horse, and so you got to be very careful with whatever mode of transportation you have when people are saying, you are you're racing somewhere, trying to get somewhere, right? Trying to, as far as family is concerned. So that's come to an end. You're like, no, I'm putting myself first. I know my worth. I know my value. I'm putting myself first. So good for you. That's it. And so that's the 10 of Pentacles. That's the conscious goal. But your unconscious goal is the 4 of Swords here. And so beneath the surface, you may need more rest than you realize. So Spirit is asking you to slow down and recharge. Yeah. Somebody jolting you out of, your sleep. You got the Knight of Swords here and the 4 of Swords here. And you halfway, y'all get the point, like you're groggy. You're trying to, you're racing somewhere, whatever. Family, friends, or whomever, like family, friends calling you and you peer out the door. So it's like, you're trying to reduce anything, you're trying to reduce any possible accidents or like hurting yourself or, any of those kind of things, right? So, yeah. So, somebody, the advice would be the Temperance card here, Temperance card. So find balance and moderation. Blend patience with action. There's no need to rush what's already aligning for you, right? So yeah, something is already aligning for you as it is, right? And so here we have the, because that could be someone's temptation. That could be someone's temptation. You just dashing out the door, like flying somewhere, like you're galloping on a horse or motorcycle or, like some mode of transportation that's going to get you there, like lickety split, right? And then your hopes and fears would be the Devil card, right? So, you may fear being trapped by old habits, unhealthy attachments, or limitations. This card actually reminds you that you hold the power to break free. You hold the power. You can break that. You can break it right away. It should not take a tower for somebody to break that habit of like, okay, I'm zipping from here to there. The outcome for you is going to be, well, let's look at the external influences first. So this is expansion, growth opportunities surround you, partnerships, travel, or long-term planning may appear on the horizon for you. Yeah, so you're taking a leap of faith. You're taking a leap of faith. And so the outcome for you is the World card. By week's end, a cycle completes. Fulfillment, recognition, and success bring closure and prepare you for a new beginning. See? Yeah. You're not crossing your own boundaries. If you say, okay, I set a boundary for myself that, hey, I know what's important. And especially if you feel like you haven't gotten enough sleep, you're trying to rest and you go dashing somewhere, you're not breaking your own. You get the point. Like you're not crossing your own boundaries. Like you're not setting a rule for yourself. That's what Saturn is about. And the next thing you know, you're getting ticket, this and that's going on, all of this, right? So here we have, you're healing from the pain that some energies caused you. And so somebody wants the best for you. Pray and meditate. Your gifts have actually increased. Right? So speak things into existence. Words are very, very powerful, and create the change that you want. Create the change that you want, right? So don't return their call. And so somebody is an incubus spirit, right? Your ancestors have a message, for you. And somebody secretly has a crush on you. I have no idea who that is. So we're not even going to ask the cards, all of that. Anyway, it's you versus you. Because I feel like at this part, you're trying to live a softer life and you're not interested in secrets, right? For you, if somebody has a secret crush on you, they need to speak up. Whether it's a man or woman, they need to pray about it and be like, okay, so show me some clarity. They can do the same work that you're doing. So they have a secret crush on you. We're not even going to waste your time with asking the cards, all of that. They can keep it a secret unless they come to you directly and talk to you. So somebody really envies you, and so pour into yourselves more, right? And so somebody X wants to return. I don't know anything about whose X wants to return. It could be an ex-friend. X is not always ex-love interest, just so we're clear. And I've said this in previous readings. It's not always ex-love interest. Sometimes it's ex-friends. Sometimes it's, people realize, hey, you go above and beyond for them, and you know, they wouldn't for you. So, and sometimes people want back into your space, like, oh, I thought, because they were impulsive, they thought, you know, they thought the worst of you. Oh, or who knows what they thought, who knows. But anyway, let's go ahead and close this out. Yeah, you can't begin to know what people are thinking, so you're not trying to read people's minds. So all right, let's close it out. All right, where's the card? Yeah, something is generational. That's Saturn. Something is just generational. It really is. It's yeah, so talent. Somebody could have been living in a bubble, right, as far as talent is concerned. Kind of sort of looking from the outside looking in, but have a lot of talent. You could have a lot of gifts and talents, but you could have been like, you know, it's time for you to tap in. Somebody really is, like I said, a prayer warrior. And a lot of times when you're going within seeking answers, your answers for you, Aries, will come right away. That's a Tower card. It's like a lightning bolt comes right away. Answers come right away. So invite help. So invite the divine to pursue you. Seriously, just say, I'm finally ready. God, pursue me. Right? So you're inviting help. So somebody is starting to go within for answers. You know, seeking answers from within. Yeah, so mental conflict. Yeah, something has just been conflicting for you. Like how is something disrupting your peace? And like I always say, you know, my high vibrating Aries are, y'all are courageous, you're energetic, you're pioneering. That's the high vibrating Aries. Low vibrating Aries would be impulsive, aggressive, and also impatient, right? So source is like somebody's urgency for you. Somebody's also learning that you can just, you know, whatever your belief systems are, you can pray for people and just slow down and take your time. Slow down and take your time, right? But you're not letting something drive you crazy. You're just not. It's like somebody has been keeping their own gifts and talents in a bubble, and so those days are over. You about to instead of you saying I'm gonna burst somebody's bubble, you're saying nope. You don't need to do all of that. Somebody could be a dancer, but like I said, I mean, looking at your cards here, something is generational, like exposing people's demons, right? You know what I'm saying? Like exposing people's demons when you really look within, because the devil card really is like shining a light back on you, but it shines the light on you first. Like what are your demons? And then it shines out there, right? So two energies could be dancers, right? Because I'm looking at the Two of Pentacles here, right? And so something could be generational. Something can go from one generation down to the next, down to the next, down to the next, and keep on going. So it was meant for you to break some kind of generational cycle, chain, and curse, where almost like if it's an incubus involved, it could be a man that comes in between, you know, that people are chained to, you know, believing other people's demons without even looking at their own, whoever this is, you know. So people could really believe other people's, everybody got, you know, their sin or whatever is greater than everybody else's. So whoever. But source is saying to you, you're no longer racing and rushing from pillar to post. Let's set an intention and let's go ahead and close it out. But yeah, that's what I have for you all. So yeah, source is saying you're slowing down, you're living, somebody is intentionally living a softer life at this point. Your closing message is that this week is all about embracing leadership, balancing responsibilities, and preparing for a powerful new chapter. The Ace of Wands and the World card show fresh beginnings after completion, while Temperance and the Four of Swords remind you to balance your fire with rest. right? And so stay steady. Success and fulfillment are aligning for you. So if this message resonates with you all, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. And as always, stay strong, stay focused, and stay victorious. All right? Trusting your intuition. You're learning how to trust your intuition. So somebody is kind of breaking out of their own bubble and tapping into your own gifts, like really answering the call on your life, your 10th house. So find out what your 10th house is. You are ruled first house, but pull your birth chart. I do birth chart readings, regular readings, all of those gems. We have gemstones, crystals, and oils and candles, all of those things, right? But somebody is really learning how to see things from a higher frequency, that everyone was called to do something. And so when you're hanging out with people who always want to point out somebody else's their temptations or their demons or whatever the case may be, so to say, you could be tempted impulsively to do that too. Or you can say, you know what, let me look at myself. Let me just cut the energies off and let me just focus on my own gifts and talents. It's up to you. It's up to you. So, but remember, somebody still has not gotten to the bottom of something, right? Because you got 2 of Pentacles here. Before this is Ace of Pentacles. That's really getting to the root of something, right? So, but it's up to you. If you feel like it disrupted your peace and you want to move on, that is entirely up to you. Let's see. Yeah, but you're, like I said, somebody is learning how to invite help with source. I want to say, do we have a number? Let's pull a number here off this deck. Yeah, 413, financial freedom. Yeah. So take back your control, right? This is where 4 comes in, right? 4 is the Emperor card, right? You're getting structured and authoritative. And so somebody is saying they're going to be by themselves until they kind of sort of talk to the creator first, or source first, because you're focusing on your financial freedom. So take back your control. There is a need for you to look at your finances and get them in order. So organizing, understanding, and budgeting your money are all actions that create pathways to more financial abundance in the future. So reflect on an area of your life that does not support your financial freedom. Spend 20 minutes today digging deeper into this financial predicament that you've been ignoring, right? So this is how you're making the connection here. You know, your heart situation here. Your head and heart could have been at war about something. So it's like you're not letting something come between you and financial freedom. You're just getting more structured and more authoritative when it comes to balancing out like your time. You know your worth, you know your value, and people may have had a first impression of you. It could be their lasting impression, whoever the energies are. But hey, you know, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. See you all in the next video. Bye.